There comes a time in every life when the noise of the world grows louder than the voice within. When the distractions multiply, the vision blurs, and the passion that once burned bright begins to flicker. That is the moment when you must reset, restart, and refocus. Reset means to pause, to step away from the constant motion and ask yourself, why did I begin in the first place? Too many people are moving fast in the wrong direction. Speed means nothing if you are heading toward destruction. Sometimes the greatest act of progress is not to move forward, but to stop, to breathe, and to realign with purpose. You see, life has a divine order. Every season has a rhythm, and every rhythm has a reason. When you lose your rhythm, you lose your reason. Resetting brings you back into harmony with that original rhythm of creation. It clears the clutter, removes the noise, and gives you a sacred moment to hear the whisper of purpose again. Reset to realign is one of the most powerful yet overlooked principles in life. Many people are busy, constantly running, constantly producing, and constantly reaching, but very few ever stop to ask if their direction still matches their original purpose. Sometimes, progress is not about pushing harder but about pausing deeper. You can be active and still unproductive if your energy is being poured into something that no longer aligns with your divine design. When life becomes cluttered with noise, commitments, and comparisons, you begin to drift from the rhythm of purpose that once guided you. That is why the first step to true transformation is the willingness to reset. To reset means to clear the spiritual screen of your life, to silence the noise long enough to hear your inner voice again. Every device needs a reset when it becomes overloaded or unresponsive, and the same is true for the human spirit. When you feel drained, confused, or disconnected, it is not a sign of weakness, it is a signal that you are out of alignment. You have been functioning too long without proper recalibration. Resetting allows your heart, mind, and spirit to synchronize once more with the vision that was planted in you before you even began. This act requires courage because it often means stepping away from what is familiar. It means pausing even when the world says keep going. Many people are afraid to stop because they think pausing equals failure, but true maturity is understanding that rest is a strategy. Resetting does not mean you have given up, it means you are preparing to return stronger, wiser, and more focused. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot hear divine instruction in constant motion. Silence and solitude are where clarity is born. When you reset, you begin to see what truly matters. You realize that not everything you lost was meant to stay, and not everyone who left was meant to continue. Some things had to fall apart so that you could fall back into alignment. The process of resetting strips away what is unnecessary and allows your spirit to breathe again. It clears the fog of confusion and helps you remember who you are and why you started. There is a sacred rhythm in life, and every time you ignore it, you drift further from your true path. The reset is your return to that rhythm. It is your opportunity to rediscover your why, to realign your energy with purpose, and to reconnect with the original intention of your creation. Without a reset, you risk living by habit instead of vision. You risk doing good things that are not the right things. Resetting teaches you the value of stillness. It reminds you that purpose cannot thrive in chaos and that clarity requires peace. When you reset, you are not running from life, you are recentering yourself within it. You are making space for direction, wisdom, and divine alignment to flow freely once again. Restart with wisdom means understanding that beginnings are not just moments in time, they are opportunities for renewal. Life has a way of bringing us back to the starting line, not to shame us, but to shape us. Every experience, every heartbreak, every failure carries within it a lesson designed to refine, not define. When you restart, you do not erase the past, you reinterpret it. You gather what you've learned, you hold on to what strengthened you, and you release what weakened you. Restarting is not about going back to where you were, it's about stepping forward with a new level of clarity, direction, and inner strength. Too many people allow the fear of beginning again to trap them in cycles of stagnation. They confuse comfort with peace and familiarity with purpose. But wisdom teaches that there is no shame in starting over. The real mistake is refusing to move because of past disappointments. Restarting requires humility, the kind that says, I didn't get it all right the first time, but I'm willing to try again with what I now know. It takes courage to rebuild when you've been broken, but it also takes wisdom to understand that the breaking was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to develop you. When you restart, you are no longer led by impulse but by insight. You stop chasing what is popular and start pursuing what is purposeful. The lessons from your past become the foundation for your future. What once caused you pain now becomes a source of power. Restarting gives you the ability to approach life not from a place of naivety but from understanding. It allows you to apply the revelation that only comes through experience. There are times when God will intentionally close doors you were never meant to walk through. It's not rejection, it's redirection. When you restart, you begin to see that what you thought was a setback was really a setup for something greater. You see that the delay was a form of protection and that the disappointment was the soil for your growth. Restarting means you trust the timing of your journey and believe that what is ahead of you is still worth pursuing. The beauty of restarting is that you don't have to begin empty. You carry wisdom, perspective, and resilience that you didn't have before. You understand what drains you and what drives you. You know which voices build you and which ones break you. Restarting gives you the advantage of awareness. It allows you to approach your goals with balance, patience, and maturity. You no longer rush for results, you move with intention. Every great vision requires multiple beginnings. Every new level demands a fresh start. Wisdom is what transforms restarts into revolutions. It ensures that you don't repeat old patterns but rise above them. When you restart with wisdom, you no longer fear change, because you've learned that every ending is simply preparation for a wiser beginning. Refocus on vision is the process of bringing your attention back to what truly matters after life has pulled you in too many directions. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to drift from your original purpose without even realizing it. You begin with passion, clarity, and conviction, but over time, the noise of opinions, the weight of responsibilities, and the pursuit of approval start to blur your vision. Refocusing is about reclaiming your inner sight. It is a conscious decision to lift your eyes from what is temporary and fix them again on what is eternal. When your focus is fragmented, your energy becomes scattered, and your progress slows. Nothing drains potential faster than divided attention, and nothing restores it faster than refocusing on the vision that birthed your journey. When you refocus, you are not creating a new dream, you are returning to the original one that was overshadowed by distractions. You begin to recognize that every great calling requires disciplined attention. Focus is the gatekeeper of destiny. It decides what gets your energy and what doesn't. Many lose their power not because they lack potential but because they have too many open tabs in their minds. Refocusing allows you to close the unnecessary ones and concentrate your spirit on the one that matters most. This act requires discernment, because not every opportunity is a divine assignment. Some doors open just to test whether you still know which one you're meant to walk through. Refocus means having the courage to say no to the good so you can protect the great. It means withdrawing from chaos so you can reconnect with clarity. The more you grow, the more distractions you will attract, and the only way to stay true to your purpose is to guard your focus as a sacred treasure. Refocusing also requires silence, because clarity often hides behind stillness. When your mind is racing and your heart is restless, it's difficult to see direction clearly. The moment you slow down and silence the noise, you allow the vision to come back into view. You begin to see details that you missed before, opportunities that were always there but blurred by busyness. Refocus is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most with precision and intention. Every visionary must learn to refocus repeatedly throughout life. Seasons change, responsibilities shift, and distractions evolve, but the discipline of refocusing keeps your purpose anchored. It's easy to get lost in comparison, looking at what others are doing and forgetting your own lane. But focus reminds you that destiny is not a competition, it's a covenant. It's the agreement between you and your Creator to fulfill the assignment you were designed for. When you refocus, you start to see again with faith instead of fear. You remember that vision is not just what you look at, it's what you look through. It shapes how you interpret obstacles, delays, and detours. It helps you recognize that everything happening around you is only meant to sharpen what's happening within you. Embrace divine timing is about understanding that life unfolds according to purpose, not preference. There is a rhythm in the universe that moves beyond your schedule and your plans. Every event, every delay, every breakthrough operates under a divine clock that never runs late. The frustration many people face is not because their dreams are denied but because they are delayed. They mistake waiting for wasting, and impatience robs them of preparation. To embrace divine timing means to trust that what is meant for you will not miss you. It means to rest in the assurance that when the season is right, everything will align effortlessly. Timing is the invisible hand of purpose guiding your steps even when you don't understand the path. Divine timing is not passive, it is an active surrender. It requires faith that the unseen work of God is just as powerful as what you can see. While you are waiting, something is being arranged on your behalf. People are being positioned, opportunities are being shaped, and lessons are being written into your story. When you rush ahead of timing, you risk receiving something before you are mature enough to handle it. Growth without timing becomes chaos. Blessings without preparation become burdens. Divine timing protects you from success that would have destroyed you too soon. Every delay carries wisdom within it. Sometimes the waiting season is not about God withholding something from you, it's about Him working something in you. Patience builds character, and character is the soil in which destiny grows. When you learn to wait well, you learn to discern the difference between what is urgent and what is essential. Divine timing teaches you that there is beauty in becoming. You are not being punished by the process, you are being positioned by it. What feels like a pause is often a divine setup for acceleration when the time is right. Embracing divine timing also means you stop comparing your journey with others. Everyone's clock is different. The fact that someone else's breakthrough came earlier does not mean yours is denied, it simply means your route requires a different process. What is early for someone else might be premature for you. The right thing at the wrong time can still fail. Divine timing ensures that every door opens when your hands, heart, and spirit are ready to carry what's behind it. When you align with divine timing, you live in peace even when progress seems slow. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with purpose. You begin to realize that some things needed time to mature because destiny is not a race, it's a revelation. Every delay refines your faith, and every pause purifies your motives. You start to appreciate that preparation time is never wasted time. The moment you embrace divine timing, you no longer chase opportunities, you attract them because your readiness and your purpose finally meet in perfect harmony. Transform pain into power means recognizing that every wound carries within it the potential for wisdom. Pain was never meant to be the end of your story, it was designed to reveal strength that comfort could never produce. Life will test you through loss, disappointment, and betrayal, but those moments are not punishments, they are invitations to grow. When you stop resisting pain and start learning from it, transformation begins. Pain becomes the mirror that reflects what still needs healing and the fire that forges resilience. It teaches you who you are beyond the surface, stripping away pride, fear, and illusion until only truth remains. Pain refines your character and sharpens your vision because it forces you to confront what comfort allows you to ignore. Every person who has ever done something significant has learned how to convert pain into purpose. It is not that they never suffered, but that they refused to waste their suffering. Pain becomes power when it is given perspective. When you see your experiences not as random struggles but as divine shaping, every hardship becomes meaningful. The things that once broke you begin to build you. The tears that once blurred your sight now cleanse your vision. Transformation does not happen in the comfort zone, it happens in the crushing, where you discover that endurance is a spiritual weapon. To transform pain into power, you must choose not to dwell in bitterness. Pain that is not processed becomes poison. When you hold onto offense or resentment, it clouds your judgment and drains your strength. Healing begins the moment you decide that what happened to you will not define you. The pain may have been forced upon you, but the power to rise is your decision. Every scar tells a story, not of defeat, but of survival. The places where you bled are the same places where others will find healing through your testimony. What once hurt you becomes what helps someone else when you allow it to be transformed. Transformation also requires gratitude, even for what didn't make sense. When you start thanking God for what hurt you, you shift from victim to victor. Gratitude rewires your heart to see how pain refined your priorities, strengthened your faith, and expanded your compassion. You begin to understand that without certain struggles, you would not have developed the depth or discipline required for your destiny. Pain becomes the training ground for power because it teaches endurance, humility, and dependence on something greater than yourself. When pain transforms, it doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you see. You begin to recognize purpose where others see problems. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" The energy that once fueled your suffering becomes the force that drives your success. You realize that the same fire that burned you also purified you, preparing you to carry more light, more strength, and more purpose than you ever had before. Protect your focus means guarding the most valuable resource you possess, your attention. What you focus on grows, and what you neglect fades. Many people fail not because they lack potential but because their focus is scattered across too many directions. Distractions are not always obvious, they often come disguised as opportunities, relationships, or responsibilities that appear good but slowly drain your energy from what truly matters. Protecting your focus is not about isolation, it's about intentional concentration. It's the discipline of knowing where to place your time, your thoughts, and your emotions so they produce growth instead of confusion. When you protect your focus, you begin to understand that not everything deserves your response. Every conversation, every argument, every invitation is a potential thief of attention. Focus is the currency of destiny, and you cannot afford to spend it carelessly. What you give attention to gains authority in your life. If you constantly focus on fear, it will control your actions. If you focus on faith, it will guide your decisions. Focus determines direction, and direction determines destiny. Protecting it means setting boundaries, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that your vision is not diluted by the noise of others. Focus requires clarity. You cannot protect what you have not defined. When your goals are vague, distractions have permission to enter. But when your vision is clear, distractions become visible. Protecting focus means waking up each day with a sense of purpose and refusing to allow anything to pull you off course. It means turning down the volume of external voices so you can hear the quiet strength of your inner conviction. It means saying no to comfort when it threatens growth and yes to discipline when it demands sacrifice. The world rewards those who protect their focus. The greatest leaders, creators, and visionaries are not necessarily the most talented, they are the most focused. They have learned to direct all their energy toward one thing until it manifests. Protecting your focus also means protecting your environment. You cannot maintain vision in a place filled with constant distraction. Sometimes protecting your focus means walking away from people who don't understand your purpose, limiting conversations that waste your time, and surrounding yourself with those who challenge you to stay aligned with your calling. Focus is fragile, and it must be guarded daily. Life will constantly attempt to pull you in multiple directions through comparison, temptation, or fear of missing out. Protecting your focus means refusing to measure your progress against anyone else's pace. It means trusting that your lane is enough, your timing is perfect, and your mission is sacred. When your focus is protected, peace follows. Your decisions become simpler, your mind clearer, and your spirit stronger. You begin to operate from purpose instead of pressure. You stop reacting to everything around you and start responding to what's within you. Protecting your focus keeps you aligned, consistent, and unshakable no matter what comes your way.